The return of a legend is finally happening. The rebirth of Chevy's icon that once ruled the streets and left a significant mark on automotive history. The 2025 Chevy Chevelle is here. A comeback we've all been waiting for nearly 5 decades. Will it stay true to its roots? Or are we about to see a watered-down modern era? Buckle up, because you don't want to miss this ride. Raw power and aggressive styling, as well as the deep cultural impact that followed, made the Chevelle one of the most iconic cars America has ever made. An epitome of the muscle car design that had its peak in the second half of the 1960s and early 1970s. Famous for its versatility, it was offered in a variety of body styles. With several super capable engines and broad appeal, it became one of the best-selling nameplates of the era. But more important than commercial success was the cultural impact. The Chevelle was, and still is, one of the greatest legends on American roads, and we can find millions of reasons for such a status. We can talk about popularity and availability in various body styles. We can talk about timeless design, or we can simply talk about all those movies, TV shows, and music videos that cemented its status in popular culture. But above anything else, there's performance, which reached its peak at the same time the whole muscle car era did in 1970, when the iconic Chevelle SS 454 was introduced. With that monstrous V8 pushing out 450 horsepower, that was outrageous back in the day, enough for the status of one of the most potent factory-built muscle cars. The Chevelle was introduced in 1964, and it had an impressive decade with 2 of its most iconic generations. The 3rd generation arrived in 1973, but everyone was clear that the golden era was over. Due to the oil crisis and new government regulations, Chevelle became too big, too heavy, and not particularly engaging to drive. That model remained active until 1977, but it was clear that the glorious days were behind. After all, Chevy introduced the Malibu with the idea of turning the page in the mid-size segment. That nameplate has been active ever since, but with the fall of sedans in popularity, it remained neglected, so the outgoing generation doesn't seem particularly competitive. Simply, GM was convinced that SUVs and crossovers would take over the market completely, but with Japanese legends, Camry and Accord, still going strong, it's clear that there's still a solid number of customers in need of a classic sedan design. The mid-size sedan is far from dead, it's just that GM needs a fresh start. And by fresh start, we are thinking of bringing another iconic nameplate back into the game. That nameplate, of course, is Chevelle. And it's not like this is the first time GM is trying to gain traction by using well-known monikers from the past. The only problem is that, so far, it wasn't exactly able to meet expectations. Just remember the level of disappointment with the new Blazer, which is nothing like its rugged, off-road focused predecessor. Chevy will have to play cautiously this time because it's gambling more than ever with a model that used to be Chevy's greatest achievement back in the day. So, what needs to be taken into account is that, since Chevy is already reviving an icon, it has to be aware of customers' expectations. And they definitely don't need to see another crossover, nor an all-electric setup, God forbid. They want a genuine homage to the glorious predecessor, both stylistically and technically. Let's start with the styling. Before we get to aesthetics, let's discuss one equally important thing, the body style. So far, this aspect of Chevelle's design hasn't been disclosed. Yes, the gorgeous SS Coupe is the first thing that comes to mind, but Chevelle was much more than that. Throughout its production run, it was offered in various body styles. Besides the sedan and coupe versions, there was also a wagon and even convertible. But these are different times, and it's not easy to imagine such a diverse model. We doubt anyone would be interested in a wagon, but still, the production cannot be based solely on coupe layout either. We actually think that the focus will be on the sedan body style because it offers probably the best balance between style and practicality. But still, let's not neglect the fact that the Camaro is gone, so there is a bit of a gap to fill with a coupe configuration as well. Now, let's get on to that styling finally. The front of the 2025 Chevy Chevelle represents a perfect combo of retro and contemporary design approaches. It looks sharp, yet sleek, with LED headlights that bring the modern touch. At the same time, there's a whole bunch of details that mimic the iconic predecessor, giving a nod to the classic Chevelle stance. There's the bold grille with SS badging that reminds us of the glorious days of Chevy's performance department. From the side, it's easy to find similarities with the classic model, in the way that all those sweeping lines are there, making the new silhouette look pretty close to the old model. Furthermore, muscular wheel arches are complemented by modern wheel design, while the low-slung roofline and wide stance provide an unmistakable Chevelle look. At the rear end, the taillights mimic the classic design, so altogether, the modern interpretation of Chevy's icon makes us feel really optimistic about this revival. The same design approach is coming on the inside, a perfect blend of retro charm and modern tech. Fine materials, elegant aesthetics, and a lot of attention to detail should be some of Chevelle's advantages over the competition. At the same time, such a classic design approach will be complemented by contemporary tech features, including a massive infotainment screen with wireless smartphone integration and all other connectivity features that typically come these days. But the other aspect of Chevelle's interior, the aspect of comfort and convenience, will be equally important. As mentioned, the sedan body style will be in focus, so the amount of passenger space should be on par with key rivals. This is the segment where rear seats need to accommodate adults with ease, and that's the kind of thing we expect from the new Chevelle, which should also come in coupe body style. In that case, the rear seats probably won't be as generous, but that's a different pair of shoes away. Lots of standard equipment, advanced safety features, good sound insulation, all these things are something that the 2025 Chevelle needs to be competitive in the segment that may not have too many competitors, but it's actually very demanding. Under the skin, the Chevelle will use a proven recipe. Front-mounted engine, longitudinally of course, along with rear-wheel drive. That's what's coming from the revitalized muscle car icon, but all that won't mean much without a proper engine. And there, we expect to see nothing but a pure muscle. Base models will come with 6 cylinders with the good old 3.6-liter unit rated at 335 horsepower. Plenty enough to satisfy most of the buyers. For those looking for genuine muscle car performance, higher trims will come with 8 cylinders under the hood, the good old 6.2-liter engine that, in its naturally aspirated variant, puts out 455 horsepower and 455 pound-feet of torque. That will be plenty enough for class-leading performance, but will Chevy stop there? Such an iconic nameplate brings a lot of responsibility, in the way that this revival needs to bring something special, and that would be the iconic SS trim. That model would come with various upgrades, all with ultimate performance in mind. And when we talk about the engine, we cannot think of anything else but the supercharged 6.2-liter V8. We expect a max output of around 650 horsepower, which would turn the sedan or coupe into a genuine supercar, with brisk acceleration and impressive overall performance. The whole idea is to design an enthusiast car, and among other things, that also means that the 10-speed automatic won't be the only gearbox on offer. We also expect to see versions with a 6-speed manual for the ultimate driving experience. All this about V8 engines and unbeatable exhaust notes that come with them sounds great, but still, we live in different times. We live in the era of electrification, so all those speculations about electrified Chevelle make perfect sense. First, we heard rumors about the all-electric version, which would have nothing in common with the original other than the name and a few styling bits. After all, GM already brought a couple of EV revivals, and an EV with a nameplate like this would certainly ensure pole position. But let's be honest, Those who love Chevelle are generally not particularly thrilled with such an idea. So what makes way more sense is to see a hybrid version, but with a hybrid system that would serve to optimize performance, not fuel efficiency. After all, the Corvette has just got a hybrid version with an impressive output of 1,064 horsepower. We don't expect Chevelle to go that far, but still, it's not hard to imagine the range-topping version mixing gasoline and electric power. What do you think of the Chevy Chevelle revival? Can this revival be different and bring a car that actually has the potential to be a legend? Or is it just another disappointment coming, another Blazer EV, another Mustang Mach-E? Let us know what you think in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.